Put a finger down, zodiac sign edition, except I'm not telling you what sign it is until the end. Put a finger down if you're freaking out every time before you leave the house because of how you look. Put a finger down if you say you're above drama, but somehow whenever you hear anything, you always go and tell like 10 people uncontrollably. Put a finger down if you can't get over that middle school friendship that ended 5 years ago. Put a finger down if you like the idea of having fun and partying, but somehow would just much rather stay in bed. Like it's just too big of a challenge. Put a finger down if you've cried in public or in front of your close friends. Put a finger down if you've looked through their phone or have tried to look through their phone. Put a finger down if you just know when someone doesn't like you or if they're talking about you. You just know. Put a finger down if you're a parent of the friend group or if you're like a parent to your pet. Put a finger down if you're known as the sensitive one in your family or your friend group. Okay, so if you have 5 or more fingers down, you're a Cancer girl. Put a finger down, guessing your zodiac sign part 2. Put a finger down if people call you very impatient. Put a finger down if you rush into relationships and friendships very quickly. Put a finger down if you have a lot to say about everything. Put a finger down if you can't resist a good argument. Put a finger down if you're very impulsive and you speak and act before you think about it. Put a finger down if people say that you drive really fast. Put a finger down if people always tell you to slow down or be quieter when you're speaking, even though you think you're talking normally. Put a finger down if you've been told that you're the leader of your friend group. Put a finger down if you consider yourself a hothead or you have a temper. Put a finger down if you're never wrong. Put a finger down if people call you childish. Put a finger down if people tell you you're a cheerful person. Put a finger down if you always get shit done. Okay, if you put 5 more fingers down, you are an Aries. Put a finger down, zodiac sign edition, but I'm not telling you the sign till the end, part 3. Put a finger down if people say that you're a relatively quiet person in public settings. Put a finger down if you love talking shit about everybody except for your best friends. Put a finger down if when your best friend hates someone, you hate them. Put a finger down if you're a very flirtatious person. Put a finger down if you're a jealous person. Put a finger down if you can always get what you want. Put a finger down if you do not trust anyone. Put a finger down if you have 1,000 secrets. Put a finger down if you're overly protective over your friends and family. Put a finger down if you could read someone like a book by just looking at them. Put a finger down if you're either super energetic or super quiet and tired. Put a finger down if you always know when someone is lying to you. Put a finger down if you love being alone but you hate feeling alone. Put a finger down if people say that you're charming. Okay, if you put 5 more fingers down, you're a Scorpio. Put a finger down, zodiac sign edition, except I'm not telling you the zodiac sign until the end of the video. Put a finger down if you put other people's feelings in front of your own. Put a finger down if you just cannot make a decision. Put a finger down if you're a people pleaser. Put a finger down if you always have something to say but never speak up. Put a finger down if you always need everyone to like you, even if you don't like them. Put a finger down if you're always the mediator in your friends' fights. Put a finger down if you just cannot let things go. Put a finger down if you're petty as hell. Put a finger down if you're always dressed nice. Put a finger down if you have low-key trust issues. Put a finger down if you're very flirty. Put a finger down if you're very social and friendly. Put a finger down if shopping is like therapy for you. Put a finger down if you're a big overthinker. If you put 6 or more fingers down, you're a Libra or you probably have Libra placements. Put a finger down, zodiac sign edition, except I'm not telling you the sign until the end of the video, part 5. Put a finger down if people call you the artsy or creative friend. Put a finger down if you're an emotional person. Put a finger down if you're a shy person. Put a finger down if you cancel plans last minute just because you don't feel like socializing. Put a finger down if you've been called manipulative. Put a finger down if you try your best to be friendly and nice to everyone, even if you don't like them. Put a finger down if you're always napping. Put a finger down if you take everything personally and to heart. Put a finger down if you're a really good listener. Put a finger down if you sometimes cry but you don't know exactly why you're sad. Put a finger down if you're not a follower of fashion trends. Put a finger down if you're the therapist of your friend group. Put a finger down if you have an addictive personality. Put a finger down if you have like 20 different personalities depending on who you're talking to. Put a finger down if you're not a high maintenance person. Put a finger down if you're very affectionate. Put a finger down if you're very intuitive. Put a finger down if you pride yourself on your music taste. Okay, if you put 6 or more fingers down, you're a Pisces or you have Pisces placement. Put a finger down, zodiac sign edition, except I'm not telling you the sign until the end, part 6. Put a finger down if you live for attention. Put a finger down if you always think everyone's either flirting with you or is out to get you. Put a finger down if you always fear of missing out on something. Put a finger down if you hate being ignored at all. Put a finger down if you sometimes just stare at yourself in the mirror. Put a finger down if you're an endless ball of energy. Put a finger down if you low-key love drama. Put a finger down if you're super loyal until they threaten you in any way. Put a finger down if people say that you're very generous and giving. Put a finger down if you live for nice clothes and jewelry. Put a finger down if you're possessive. Put a finger down if you've been caught lying a few times. Put a finger down if everyone's jealous of you. Put a finger down if you're always down to meet new people and try new things. Put a finger down if you come off confident but you're actually really sensitive when it comes to your ego and your sense of being. Put a finger if you start drama out of boredom. Okay, if you put 6 or more fingers down, you're a Leo or you have Leo placement. Put a finger down, zodiac sign edition, except I'm not telling the sign until the end of the video. Put a finger down if you're not afraid to drop a toxic friend. Put a finger down if you've been called judgmental. Put a finger down if you could point out 50 of your own flaws or somebody else's flaws that nobody else would have even noticed. Put a finger down if you like to have an organized room or organized work. Put a finger down if you're very analytical and detail-oriented. Put a finger down if you are very polite and soft-spoken in public, but you're also really loud and funny with your friends. Put a finger down if you hate PDA and it grosses you out. Put a finger down if you're very confident but not arrogant. Put a finger down if you have never lost an argument because you always have a comeback. Put a finger down if you are the go-to person to give advice to your friends. Put a finger down if it takes a month or 2 for you to open up to a friend, or maybe even longer. Put a finger down if you overthink everything. Put a finger down if you're very self-critical. Put a finger down if you're stubborn. Finger down if you carry group projects. 5 more fingers down, you're a Virgo. Put a finger down, zodiac sign edition, except I'm not telling you the sign until the end of the video. Put a finger down if you're always in the mood to go to a random adventure or go to a weird place with your friends. Put a finger down if you're overly polite to workers at restaurants. Put a finger down if people get annoyed when you give them your opinion, even though you were just being honest. Put a finger down if you're constantly ghosting people and you don't even realize. Put a finger down if you're very optimistic in life. Put a finger down if you're more book smarts than you are street smarts. Put a finger down if you don't have an inside voice. Put a finger down if you are the comedian of your friend group. Put a finger down if you're a huge procrastinator. Put a finger down if you are just restless and you always want to go out. Put a finger down if you hate being bossed around in any way. Put a finger down if you're always having long, rambling conversations that go from topic to topic. Put a finger down if you're a very social person. Put a finger down if you always promise more than you can deliver. Put a finger down if some things that you say come off rude, even if you don't mean it. 6 more fingers down, you're a Sagittarius or you have Sag placements. Put a finger down, zodiac sign edition, except I'm not telling you the sign until the end of the video. Put a finger down if you never lose an argument. Put a finger down if you are not a picky eater. Put a finger down if you hate change and you need consistency. Put a finger down if when someone lies to you once, you'll never trust them again. Put a finger down if you're either dressed super comfortably or super stylish with no in-between. Put a finger down if you could be a huge perfectionist. Put a finger down if your parents or friends call you a very stubborn person. Put a finger down if you never rush into relationships. Put a finger down if you're the reliable friend. Put a finger down if people tell you that you're patient. Put a finger down if you can be possessive in relationships. Put a finger down if you have trust issues. Put a finger down if you're constantly annoyed at people who aren't your friends. And sometimes your friends also. Put a finger down if you're very independent. Put a finger down if you're emotionally strong. Put a finger down if you can have a really bad temper. Okay, if you put 6 more fingers down, you're a Taurus or you probably have Taurus placements. Put a finger down, zodiac sign edition, except I'm not telling you the sign until the end of the video. Put a finger if you're not one to start drama, but if someone puts your name in drama, you'll be the one to finish it. Put a finger down if you really hate breaking the rules and it gives you anxiety. Put a finger down if you're a very focused and goal-oriented person. Put a finger down if you leave everybody on read or delivered. Put a finger down if you are aggressive when you're mad, but you're also usually pretty chill. Put a finger down if you're a control freak. Put down a finger if you have a specific passion that you're interested in. Put a finger down if you're actually really fun once you loosen up. Put a finger down if you're low-key a huge softie even though you act tough. Put a finger down if you are not an affectionate person. Put a finger down if you love getting people around you gifts. Put a finger down if you never give up and you always get work done. Put a finger down if you have really good self-control. Put a finger down if bad manners make you cringe. Okay, if you put 5 or more fingers down, you're a Capricorn or you probably have Capricorn placement. Put a finger down, zodiac sign edition, except I'm not telling you the zodiac sign until the end of the video. Put a finger down if you have tea or gossip on everybody. Put a finger down if your mood can change in a split second. Put a finger down if people say you're an outgoing and friendly person. Put a finger down if you're way smarter than you look. Put a finger down if you are very indecisive. Put a finger down if you're very impulsive. Put a finger down if you've been told you're unreliable or flaky. Put a finger down if you're a little bit nosy and you need to know about everybody's drama. Put a finger down if you suppress your emotions. Put a finger down if you're very youthful and fun. Put a finger down if you have a very good sense of humor. Put a finger down if when you like someone, you need to be talking to them 24 hours a day. Put a finger down if you're affectionate. Put a finger down if you always have 500 questions. Put a finger down if it's easy for you to make friends. Put a finger down if you're really good at reading people. Put a finger down if you almost never show your true feelings unless you're really close with someone. Put a finger down if you're usually the life of the party. Put a finger down if you get bored way too easily. Okay, if you put 5 more fingers down, you're a Gemini or you have Gemini placements. Put a finger down, zodiac sign edition, except I'm not telling you the sign until the end of the video. Put a finger down if you get embarrassed when talking about emotions. Put a finger down if you've been told you're bossy. Put a finger down if you like to stand out. Put a finger down if you actually have a really bad temper. Put a finger down if you love meeting new people. Put a finger down if you're the crazy one in your friend group. Put a finger down if you're a social butterfly. Put a finger down if you like someone for a day and then ghost them. Put a finger down if you're very independent. Put a finger down if you always do things your way or you don't do it. Put a finger down if you've always been rebellious. Put a finger down if you're a free spirit. Put a finger down if you don't care what people think about you. Put a finger down if you cannot compromise. Put a finger down if you hate being alone. Put a finger down if you need a best friend who's a good listener. Put a finger down if you avoid emotional expression. Put a finger down if you can be condescending. Put a finger down if you're very unpredictable. Put a finger down if you often ghost or not answer your friends for no reason. Put a finger down if you're more common sense smart than you are book smart. Put a finger down if you're often stuck in your own head. Put a finger down if you're very open-minded. Okay, if you put 5 more fingers down, you're an Aquarius or you have Aquarius placements.